Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing what I'm calling a dopamine day. I am doing things that will make me happy. So we are currently in the drive-thru for Starbucks. I'm getting a peppermint hot chocolate.
Going to Five Below.
And then my daughter got a snowman cookie and she's requested that we go to Five Below. So we're gonna go over to Five Below, walk around, have a look at all of the Christmas stuff that they have. Cause she actually went there last week, I think, with my husband, and she said they had a lot of Christmas stuff. So we'll just go and have a look. Then I think we are going to go to the playground, and then when we head back home, we will have some lunch and just do whatever else it is that we can do to, get the dopamine flowing. I am in desperate need of that today. I'm also about to finish the audiobook for Holiday Ever After. So maybe while she's at the playground, I can listen to some of that and we can get through the audiobook. Let me pay for my hot chocolate.
Why is your window broken?
Why is my window broken? I don't know. I need to get a new piece for it. Thank you.
Not to be weird, but I definitely follow you on TikTok.
Really?
Yep.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you know that I live here?
Yeah, I'm the one that messaged you because I found the Goodwill.
Okay, I was wondering who that was. So cool. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks. Well, that was cool. That definitely gave me the dopamine boost that I've been looking for today. Okay, well, now we're gonna go over to Five Below. That was so sweet. So this is actually one of my favorite books. So if you need a Christmas gift for somebody, this one, or if you've been looking for this book, here at Five Below, apparently they have it. And then I haven't read this one, but my friend Brittany has, and it's really cute. Yeah, it's got like Dungeons and Dragons in it, which would make sense because Dungeons and Drama. This one I haven't read, but I've read a lot of her other books, and I know my friend Melody has read that one. Okay everybody, so this vlog kind of took a turn after we went out and went shopping today. We were planning to go to the playground, but I had something kind of unexpected come up. So we ended up coming home, my daughter took a nap, and then we just hung out at home. We played outside and went in the woods, built a fort, had a really good day at home. Now it is nighttime and my daughter is asleep. So I'm going to go ahead and get some Christmas presents wrapped. By the way, my day has been very good. I've had a very good day. My morning made me feel so much better. I actually ran into a couple of moms while we were out shopping and got their phone numbers. These are some moms that I have seen around at the playground and at some other events and things that me and my daughter go to. And we're gonna try to get together at some point. So that was a really nice thing that happened this morning. But yeah, we're gonna get some of these presents wrapped. I'm mostly just gonna wrap things for my daughter and things for some of the other kids in my life because they're not going to see this video. The adults in my life may watch this. So I'm not going to be wrapping anything for my husband, my mother-in-law, or anything like that. I'm just gonna focus right now on getting some of the kids stuff done. I hope I have enough wrapping paper. If not, I probably should have bought some today because they did have some at Five Below for only like $1 a roll. I probably should have picked some up, but I did not. I do have a couple of boxes and I think I only have one bag, but we can at least try and see what we can get done. While I am wrapping all of these things, I thought it would be fun for me to do a couple of questions from the book tag, end of the year book tag, and just, talk about that while we are wrapping presents. Starting off, we've got something here for my daughter. And the first question is, what was the highest rating that you gave a book this year? That would be what I call my 6-star books. I gave 6 stars to a couple of books this year, but nothing I think will be as highly rated as Manifold was to me. That book was just, I don't even really know how else how to explain it other than it being a 6-star book. It was insane in good ways and in bad. Like, there was quite a bit of it that was just very hard to read, but even with that, the story was just so well done, and I still need to read Alchemized. So when I do get around to that, I've contemplated reading it and doing a reading vlog just like I did for reading Manacled, but that Manacled video was almost an hour long, and that book put me into such a major reading slump that I'm almost scared to get into Alchemized, even though it's a different story. I just know that with it being so big and with how Manacled emotionally impacted me, I am just scared. But I still gave it 6 stars. I loved that book so much. I have talked about it non-stop, giving my friends my recommendations and my warnings for if they are interested in going into it. But regardless, it was just incredible. Excuse me. Okay, moving on. Next question. I feel like I've kind of touched on this one before, and it's not that big a deal, but at the same time, to me, in some ways it is, and that is hardback or paperback. Most of the time, I am going to choose a paperback because of the size, for one thing, but also because, where did I put my scissors? But also because holding a paperback is just so much more comfortable for me. I've actually heard a lot of people say that holding a hardback, they can be very heavy, especially if they are large books, but also they have the dust jackets on them, and that can be uncomfortable. So I don't hate a hardback. I do love the durability of a hardback, but a paperback is going to be my choice 9 times out of 10, unless I bought the first book in a hardback. If I bought the first book in a series in a hardback, then every book after that also needs to be a hardback, because I don't like having a mismatched series. Next question is favorite new author. Now, I took this as being like new to me author, because I honestly don't pay a ton of attention to whether or not a book is somebody's debut. Maybe I should, just because sometimes that, affects how you might want to rate a book. But for me, the best author, or my favorite author whose books I got into this year, was Kristen, is it Ciccarelli? She wrote the Heartless Hunter and Rebel Witch series. Those books were so good. We actually read them as book club books earlier this year, and they were just incredible. I think everyone in our book club gave them at least like 4.5 stars. We all enjoyed it so incredibly much, and I love a fantasy, you guys know that. And reading those books, it was everything I wanted, and it was so good. It was like Bridgerton meets witches meets forbidden romance. You can't ask for more, honestly. This toy has such an awkward shape. I cannot figure out how exactly to wrap it. Okay, hold on. I had to finish that one off camera. It was too crazy. But the next question is, what was your favorite new release book for 2025? And on that, I'm kind of thinking my favorite might have been the newest Emily Henry book. And that's kind of funny because I've talked about it before that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this Emily Henry book, because the premise of it sounded similar to a Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I tried to read several years ago, and I just wasn't a fan of that Taylor Jenkins Reid book. But something about this one, about this Emily Henry book, which was Great Big Beautiful Life, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. Yes, Great Big Beautiful Life. It was so good. It was sweet. I was obsessing over it, and I think the main guy's name was Hayden. The entire time I could only imagine him as looking like Hayden Christensen in like Revenge of the Sith. I was so connected to the characters, and that's not surprising, honestly, for an Emily Henry book. I have loved her books in the past. Again, it just really caught me off guard with how much I enjoyed it, considering the plot seemed kind of similar to a Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I tried to read a few years ago. Which brings us to our next question, that is an author that you gave a second chance. Taylor Jenkins Reid was that author who I gave a second chance. I read, the book I was referencing earlier was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I read that a couple years ago, and it just wasn't for me. I read it, and it was like the plot twist wasn't all that plot twisty in my opinion. I was bored for most of the story, and I kept waiting for something to like make me want to read, and just nothing was happening like that. So I didn't enjoy that book very much. But I did read a couple of her other books this year, including Carrie Soto is Back, and that book was amazing. Highly, highly recommend that book. I will say I did play tennis in high school, so I do have a little bit of a tennis background, and maybe that did connect me to it a little bit more. But either way, I think it is super enjoyable for anybody who wants to read it, but the audiobook is incredible. It has little news snippets and like multiple actors playing all the different roles and parts, and that contributed to the story so much to the point that I thought I was listening to a true story for most of it, and I didn't want to put it down. I listened to it all the time going on walks, everywhere we went, when we would go to the park, when we would go in the car. I was listening to that book all the time. It was so good. And I would recommend it to somebody even if they do not have a background in tennis, because it was easy to follow, and it was, while it was tennis heavy, I feel like everything was explained along the way. There wasn't anything happening that didn't make sense or that they don't explain at some point. Okay, the next question is, what 2025 release was a big letdown? I wouldn't necessarily say it was a letdown, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as I was expecting to. And that was actually the newest Abby Jimenez book. So that one is called Say You Remember Me. And I was so excited when that book was announced, because the title of it is kind of lyrical Taylor Swift referencey. And I was just thinking, oh, this is going to be such a sweet story. I've loved every single one of her books that I've read up until this point. And this one just didn't resonate with me in the same way. I don't know exactly why, but some of it just, it felt slow and repetitive, and I just didn't click with it in the same way. And yeah, there's not really much else to say about it, unfortunately. I didn't think it was bad, but it just wasn't as good as all of her other books, in my opinion. Next question is actually, what was your favorite series that you read this year? And this series is one that I read most of this year. You guys have heard me talk about it a lot, and that is the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I loved it so much. Thank you, Melody, for recommending it to me. I got into it in December of last year and started it, I think it was when I was recording Bookmas last year for TikTok. And I started reading it. I can't believe I had put it off for so long. It is so good. I need to own the whole series. I need to reread it like 5 more times. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with the characters. And now I can't wait to get into some of the spin-offs that are out there too. The little spin-off stories, what are they called? Are they called sequel stories? Whatever it is that they call them, I need to read those because I just need more. It was so good and addicting, and I loved it. Addicting, oh my gosh. Look how cute this is. She's going to love that. Okay, this is the last question for this video, but this question is, what is a book or a series that you did not get to read this year that you are now going to have to try to read in 2026? So like what TBR book did you not get to in 2025, basically? For me, that was actually this series. We've got City of Bones, which is the like Mortal Instruments series, and then it goes into the Infernal Devices, and then the Last Hours. So these are all of the Cassandra Clare books. I got these last year, most of them from my friends for Christmas, and I wanted to have all of the matching spines, but I knew that they needed to be read in a specific order, and I did not have all of the books to read them in said order, so I didn't want to start them yet. Well, now I've had them for almost a year and still have not gotten to them, but it's gonna happen. I'm going to read them. I'm going to read all of them at some point, and I think there's even like one more set of series, maybe 2 or 3 books that comes after this one, but not gonna happen in 2025, but I'm gonna make sure it tries. I'm gonna really try to make it happen in 2026 because they're good. I've heard they are really good, and I love fantasy, and these fantasies kind of take place, I think, in New York, if I'm not mistaken, so that sounds extremely interesting. I just got to get myself to do it in 2026 because I can't have all of these sitting on my shelf and not read them. And also they're gorgeous. They are beautiful. And I think my sister read the first ones in high school, I think. I don't know. I need to read them. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it kind of switched up on us a little bit halfway through. I was vlogging this morning and then now we're doing this little sit and chat, but my day took a turn, so I had to get things figured out. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and I will see you next week. Bye!